Star Wars 7x7 episode 2298. Today we have an interview with Daniel Wallace, the author of Star Wars The Lightsaber Collection. Part 1, Punch It! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, Daniel Wallace is the author of many things. We'll get to his bio in a second, but we're talking about Star Wars The Lightsaber Collection, which is a comprehensive visual guide exploring the iconic and legendary lightsabers found within the Star Wars galaxy, featuring fan-favorite hilts from the Skywalker saga, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, comics, novels, and video games. And as for Wallace, well, he's the author or co-author of more than 50 books, including The Jedi Path, Ghostbusters, The Ultimate Visual History, The World According to Spider-Man, Warcraft Behind the Dark Portal, and the New York Times bestselling Star Wars, The New Essential Guide to Characters. His specialty is exploring the underpinnings of popular fictional universes. Now, there is some stuff in the way of underpinnings of the fictional universe in this book, but it's more than that. There are also interview snippets with the actors who played the characters who own those lightsabers. There's behind the scenes stuff about the making of the movies or TV shows or etc., etc. And so it is definitely not an in-universe book. It is more of a reference book that is also a real-world reference book as well. Now, hopefully there will be an opportunity to have Daniel Wallace actually come on to Star Wars 7x7 so we can do this as either an audio or a video interview, but I do have answers from Daniel Wallace to questions that I asked about the Lightsaber Collection book, and so I'm going to share with you the first part of that here. First question I asked him was, can you talk a little bit about how the project started and where you came into the project? So here's his response. Star Wars The Lightsaber Collection is similar in format to an earlier book from Inside Edition's Harry Potter The Wand Collection. In the Potter book, readers could finally get an up-close look at the amazing wand designs constructed for the films, along with prop histories and dashes of in-universe lore. The same concept was just begging to be adapted for the Star Wars universe, where lightsabers are just as unique as wands and carry the thematic weight of legendary weapons like Excalibur. As someone who has worked on a lot of Star Wars books, I came into the project with a lot of knowledge on the subject, but the deeper I got into my research, the more I realized how much there was to learn about lightsabers. Alright, second question I had for him was, what was the process of lightsaber selection like? How did you and or the editors and publisher decide on what to include or exclude? And how easy or tough were those decisions? So here's his answer. It wasn't easy. We could only cover a set number of lightsabers in the book, and naturally, your first instinct is to cover every lightsaber scene in a Star Wars movie. But when it comes to the sabers carried by lesser-known members of the Jedi Council or the Jedi Strike Force on Geonosis, a lot of their lightsaber hilt designs follow the same templates. For variety, we had to reduce the visual duplicates and push for unusual hilt designs. From the Clone Wars, for instance, we included the lightsaber pikes carried by the Jedi Temple Guards, as well as the saber hilt of a Wookiee Jedi, which was carved from wood. Lucasfilm kept challenging us to cover unusual designs from the games and comics, which is how we came to include lightsabers from the Star Wars comics, Jedi Fallen Order, Vader Immortal, and the High Republic. And I'm going to share one more question and answer with Daniel Wallace, but before I do, I just want to give you a quick reminder, if you have not yet done it, and you're listening to the show on iTunes, please consider rating and reviewing Star Wars 7x7 on iTunes. It does help more people find this daily dose of Star Wars joy when they're looking for Star Wars podcasts to check out. So if you have done it, thank you so very much for doing that. And if you've yet to do it, then please make this the day that you leave a rating and a review on Star Wars 7x7 at iTunes. So here is the last question and answer that I'm going to share with you today from my interview questions sent and returned back from Daniel Wallace. I said, a lot of the previous reference books you've written or co-written have had a much larger scope, for example, Ultimate Star Wars or The Rebel Files. And I asked, was the experience of writing this one different with its comparatively more specific focus? And he replied, to be honest, at first it seemed like a real challenge. This wasn't a quote-unquote Star Wars book, nor was it a Jedi book, nor was it a book about the Force. It was only a lightsaber book, nothing more or less. But as soon as I dove into the topic, I grew to love it. There's a surprising amount of in-universe lore about lightsabers, and an even more voluminous real-world history of how concept designers, prop builders, and stuntmen employed these objects during filming. The end result is a mix of both perspectives, and I think it will hold some surprises even for longtime fans. And that answer really does echo what I was saying at the top of the show about how this book doesn't just have information about, oh, this is Mace Windu's lightsaber and it has these details on it and whatnot. No, it is definitely a far more comprehensive situation with information about the making of the movie, about the characters themselves, about lightsaber lore in the Star Wars universe. It is really remarkable in that regard. And so that right there is where we're going to leave things with this part of the interview with Daniel Wallace, the questions that were sent back and forth via email in this particular case, and that is going to do it for this episode of the show. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.